Here we have a new 2024 GMC Yukon. Now this Yukon comes in the AT4 trim level in onyx black, and then we have jet black perforated leather interior. For the powertrain, we get that standard 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine, made into a 10-speed automatic transmission. Not seeing any changes on the outside of this Yukon AT4 from the 23 model, but coming around to the front end here, that same aggressive front fascia, love that. LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights, and LED fog lights. Red recovery hooks there, just make it pop that much more. And then coming around to the wheels here, these are gonna be 20-inch aluminum. We get passive keyless entry on all four doors, power running boards on this particular model. And then over here, we have our power door lock controls, one-touch automatic up and down windows for the front, just express down for the back, memory seat controls, power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors, and then we have a rear window lock, power mirror controls are there. And then we do have a Bose sound system, electronic parking brake, lane keeping system, parking sensors, auto stop, 360 camera, hill descent, downhill brake control, and then traction control toggles there. We have several drive modes, tow haul, off-road, sport, and then normal. And then our four-wheel drive controls. We do get a full four-wheel drive system, so we have our four-wheel up and four-wheel low. And then our four-wheel high, four-wheel low, Headlamp controls, fog light controls are there. Heads-up display controls are there. And then we have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Hood release. And there's the power driver's seat with power lumbar support. And I love the AT4 accents, and I love the stitching right there. It's a good looking SUV in my opinion. But let's check out this rear seat room. I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", longer legs. So pretty good space back here. Seat back pockets are on both sides. And we do have our rear AC controls here. We can set that to auto, change where the airflow is coming from, temperature, 2 USB-C charge ports, 3-stage heated outboard seats. And then we do have a 110 or 120 volt 3-prong household plug-in back in there. And bottle holders are here. Now this does have an optional panoramic sunroof, so that's how the roof looks like. That's how it looks with the shade back. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's open here in a minute. But we're gonna check out this third row. Just bear with me, I'm gonna walk back here. So you saw how I sat in the seat up front, that seat in the second row, and then I'm back here in the third row. I actually, where the roof kind of curves up, I still have a couple inches of headroom, even though my legs can barely fit back here. So that's pretty impressive. And then bottle holder there, USB-C charge port, either side. So, I mean, just a very practical SUV in my opinion. In terms of storage, let's put it that way, because this is thirsty. And I'll show you the fuel economy numbers when we get to the window sticker. But one last thing, we can hang a couple hangers on that hook there. It's pretty strong. And then we do have our LED reading lights for the back. Fuel filler. For those of y'all that are gonna be disappointed, unfortunately it's not lockable and there's no cap. To the back end, we do get the LED tail lamps. Quick look underneath the vehicle, spare tires there. And a big shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Yukon today. I'll leave a link below in the description to their website. Another 3-prong plug-in, and we can power release the seats up front and then power fold the seats back here. Of course, the seats up front have to be far enough where they can fold flat, but nice feature to have. And then back to the second row. If you want to just fold the seat flat, all you have to do is fold it down into the floor. Pretty easy to do. And then you just pull up on it to get it back into place. And you want to pull this lever to actually pull the seat back or forward. And then to the second row seat, or the front passenger seat, There we have our power controls with power lumbar. And we have the side pocket on the driver's side and front passenger side. Lockable glove compartments here, decent size. I would have liked it to be a little bigger and taken away some of this, but Now to the sticker, you all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look. Just gonna go through everything. So I like how this one is equipped because it's still under 80 grand, but I get the power steps, the sunroof, the technology package, and then the bucket seats. So technology package I think is pretty important. You get that surround vision, the heads up display, and then the rear pedestrian alert. The rear pedestrian alert's not really a big thing for me because you have a backup camera, but you never know when you'll need it. But there are the fuel economy numbers there. And then back to the front, I'm gonna open the hood. And it's covered up. There's that 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. And then we're gonna hop back in the vehicle here. It is a little chilly outside. There's the horn. Now we do get that Google Assistant infotainment system. I think was in 22, 23. But we get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility, then Amazon Alexa podcast, all of that. We have the Google Maps system here. You got to walk through a bunch of prompts to get to that. So just know it's a pretty cool system. You just have to have a subscription for it. So I would pretty much only use that or sign up for it when I needed it. But with the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, it's probably not going to be a big deal. But we do get dual zone automatic climate controls, and the buttons are down here. We can cut the fan speed on or off, adjust that, and we have 3-stage heated cooled seats for the front as well. USB-C, USB-A duo there, 12-volt wireless charging pad, tune knob, just a few buttons here. Mostly everything can be done through the screen for the most part, but it's nice that you have that capability to do either or. And then for your settings, you go in here and you can adjust quite a bit within the system. So if you want to adjust your language, so on and so forth, you can do that. And then we do have a trailering light test that we can run as well. You can get the optional trailering package. It gives you a little bit more just in terms of getting a bird's eye view over the trailer and things of that nature. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow, you should turn the steering wheel. Front cameras there, curbside view, trailer hitch view. So several different views there. Now for the shifter, it is all push button. Reverse, neutral, drive, low, and then you can manually shift there. Press P for park. Hazards are there. And then a little storage cubby here. And then the center console cubby space, pretty large, removable tray. And then we have a USB-C, USB-A charge duo in there to go with the one we have above the wireless charging pad. And then up here, we can actually turn these LED lights on or off. And then these are the controls for the sunroof, for the power lift gate, universal home remote, and then we can fold down that third row back here if we want to. But let's go ahead and slide this roof back so you can see how far it goes. So that's one touch there. So pretty nice. And then we can also close it with one touch as well as close the shade at the same time, which is nice. Vanity mirrors here. A nice premium look, I think. And then back to the steering wheel, we have our windshield wiper controls, which are automatic. So we can hit off there, one time, and all of our auto wiper controls there, the intermittent wiper, and then auto's there, low, high, and then we do have the button on the side for the front wiper fluid, and then our rear wiper is here, off, intermittent on, and then pull there, or pull there for that rear wiper fluid. Now when the headlamps are all the way on, we can toggle those high beams there, flash here, and then in auto mode, that'll set up your auto high beams if you want to turn those on or off. And then cruise controls here, adjust the gap for the forward collision alert, heated steering wheel toggle. I'm gonna leave that on, it's kind of chilly outside. And then voice recognition, mute, and we can use these arrows and then the scroll bar to go through the menus here. Now here you can actually go to your units within the options and you can change your units from US to metric. Info page options can be changed. So I always like to set up this and then turn the fuel economy on so I can keep an eye on that. And you can even see the engine hours, so on and so forth. Now for the heads-up display, see if I can get that. There we go. Turn that brightness up there. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit so you can see the different pages. So pretty neat, all the setups you have. And then behind the steering wheel on the left side, we can go through our track list or radio stations. And then behind on the right side, we can toggle volume up or down there. Push button starts here. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. And next, let's go ahead and take this Yukon AT4 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Yukon AT4, the 5.3 liter V8's pretty powerful. GM's not necessarily worried about fuel economy with this engine or the 6.2, so they tend to get these heavy SUVs up to speed pretty quickly. Now I do like the growl of this 5.3 liter V8, just the exhaust sound and everything. It might just be me, but it sounds a bit beefier than in the other Yukons. I don't know if there's an exhaust tip on here or what, but it just sounds like the 6.2. But we're gonna give it some throttle getting on the interstate here. So not redlining it, but just giving it a bit of power. It does its thing. You got about 350 plus horsepower, so. But you can see the fuel economy numbers here. As we kind of mellow out, even on a slight incline, we're getting 16, 17 miles per gallon highway. And as we start to level out, you'll see between 20 and 25, and then on the downhill slope, it should increase. So as it levels out, we got that 22. And then as we're going down again, right at 25. So it's not the most fuel efficient vehicle, but not awful. And I like how this rides. We do have the magnetic ride control with this AT4, and it does help this ride be very, very nice. Now, in terms of competition, I always think of the Expedition now that has that Timberline trim. Just something that's more off-road-esque as opposed to a full-on off-road vehicle. Now the AT4 I feel like is a bit more capable just from all that's kind of put behind here, but I mean, I wouldn't consider it a G-Wagon. I wouldn't consider it a Jeep, but it does do a pretty good job of being something you can have fun with without necessarily being something that is super capable. Now we do have four-wheel drive, yes. We have the magnetic ride control. It's meant to go off-road, but it's not necessarily meant to tackle anything. And like a lot of GM SUVs, it's basically meant to haul around your family, and depending on what you like to do in your spare time, it kind of goes hand in hand with that, what trim level you get. So if you're a high country person, you want to be fancy. If you're an LT person, you just want to have leather. You're not necessarily trying to break the bank with your vehicle, but you want something nice. And then something like this, you like to go off-road, but you're not trying to climb mountains or things of that nature. But I like the Yukon AT4. I like the looks. They're still pretty modern compared to the competition. I like how it drives. I like the power you get here, all the amenities. And this one in particular, I just like how it's spec'd out with the power running boards, the roof, and then having the technology package. But at almost $80,000, a little out of my budget. Me personally, I'd rather have the Hummer EV, but I'm an EV enthusiast, so that's just me. But if you're not trying to go electric and you want a V8 with a 10-speed automatic and room for 7 people, make sure you check out this 2024 GMC Yukon AT4.